businesses. All right. So y'all should have got that notification that we're live on YouTube. So let me get my screen shared for the appointment setting bootcamp. We're gonna get rolling. So hopefully y'all have notes. A couple of things, housekeeping rules, not rules really quick, but some housekeeping things for the new people, for a lot of new people. Number one, guys, I love seeing your face on Zoom. If you're able to have your camera on, we love that. If you're busy, you're cooking, you're eating, whatever, no one cares. I promise. Like, guys, I didn't do my makeup this morning and my camera's on. You'll be okay. I promise. So kick those cameras on if you guys can. That would be amazing. And then the other thing is, I love the engagement in the Zoom chat. Okay. We want to have a little bit of engagement in the Zoom chat. If I say something and you're like, man, this is good or whatever, like just put it in the comments. We want you guys to be alive. And that also shows me that you're paying attention, right? Like, hey, I see, like, that was valuable. And when I'm looking at your cameras, I want to make sure I can actually see your faces. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get right into this appointment setting bootcamp. This is the most important skill in your whole business, guys, is how to set up appointments. Because if you can set an appointment, you are never going to run out of people to talk to. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Like, if you have the ability to get in front of people, you are going to have the ability to always have people to talk to. Okay, because that was my biggest concern, to be honest with you guys coming in. I was like, you know, where are my leads going to come from? Where am I going to get people to talk to? And I don't know if you've ever felt that way or not, but I did in the beginning. And I'll be transparent with you. I didn't know where they were going to come from. But what happened was I learned a skill. Everybody type skill in the Zoom chat real quick, because if you can get a skill that teaches you how to get in front of people, you'll never run out of people. There's literally hundreds of millions of people across the country. So with that being said, guys, we got to learn that the comfort zone is where you're safe and in control. You might be there right now. Let's just be honest. We're in the comfort zone. Everything's comfy and cozy and everything's happy. Outside of the comfort zone is the fear zone. It's the lack of self-confidence. You find excuses. You're affected by other people's opinions. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I think about maybe opening up a business and your family's judging you, or you might be moving from one job to another, and you've got people that are saying negative things about you maybe doing that, right? We all know what we're talking about here. Or you're trying to lose weight and your friends are like, oh, you're not going to go out to the bar with us and drink tonight, right? We've all been in those situations where it's like, I don't want to be the weird one of my friends and or family. Yes or no? We've all been there. Right now, the learning zone is where you deal with challenges and problems. This is where you're going to acquire new skills. You're going to extend your comfort zone. Your comfort zone actually is going to become a little bit bigger. And it's a contradiction business. I've talked about this a few times lately. Your comfort zone is going to get bigger, but by doing that, your comfort zone is actually going to get a little bit smaller, because you're going to get good at something else. And it's going to hone in on what you realize. Like, you don't need to be good at a million different things to do something big. You need to be good at a few things. You need to be great at a few things. Okay. Now, the growth zone is where you find your purpose. You live your dreams. You set new goals. You conquer your objective, guys. And we got the 101 class in 2 weeks coming up, my favorite one, which is the selling the dream one. That's my favorite 101 class. So make sure you guys make that one. It's going to be awesome. But if I can figure out how to do this, there we go. So guys, right now, this is the best time for you to get started in your business. If you're brand new, you can make $650 in a couple of days. I want to give a shout out to Jeremiah and Azalea. They already have $450 in their fast start bonus. They've only been in the business since Monday. Also Hugo and Robin had $250 already reset, or not reset, excuse me, but 750 or 75,000 points to the Hawaii trip. Katie Jean's going to get her first 75,000 points today for the Hawaii trip. She's already going to get her $250 bonus. Guys, look, we're moving fast. This business can move fast if you let it. Okay, don't be the one pulling the e-brake on us trying to get your Lamborghini going down the highway. Okay, fair enough. Like, don't be the one sitting there trying to slow down the process that doesn't need to take you a long time. We're here to help you. We're here to help you go fast in this business. Okay. And my little Zoom chat box is directly in the way of that screen. So give me 2 seconds. Let me move that. I can't see my mouse. I don't know how to work my own computer. But so guys, look, in the first 7 days, really, I want to help you guys get 3 recruits, 3 clients, double your income, double your commission after you're licensed, and get a $650 bonus in money banked. Okay. If you do what I'm going to teach you today, you will do that. That will happen to you. Okay. And it's not super difficult to make that happen. So what we call it is easy 3. for an easy G, right? So it's easy 3 for an easy G. Why? Because once you're licensed, you're able to make a grant. The top 3 easiest people for you to recruit and the top 3 easiest people for kitchen tables. So I want you guys, I already told you guys to grab a piece of paper. So on your piece of paper, we're going to write down your easy 3. So who are 3 people that come to your head that if you were to start like a food truck or a lawn care business or something along those lines, who is somebody that you would want to go into business with you? Write those 3 people down. And if you can't think of anybody, that's fine. Just know that that is a question that you should take some time to think about today. Okay. And then I'm going to take away everybody's ability to unmute themselves just because some of y'all out here running wild with a mute button. So, anyway, so then I want you guys to write down 3 people that would support your business just because it's you. You got 3 people that would support your new business. Just they're going to come to your ice cream truck just to support you because it's your new ice cream truck business, right? We all have those people in our life. Who are those people? Write them down. Okay, so everybody is at home right now, and I would argue actually a little bit like I still believe that this is accurate, that everybody is still looking for work from home jobs, but I do think people are looking for camaraderie and they're looking for friendship. They're looking for a place to belong more than they ever have, because we just came out of 2.5 years of being stuck in your house, right? And now people are starting to get out into the world, and I got a floating blanket behind me, but now people are starting to get out into the world, and they're starting to realize like, okay, I like missed a human interaction. I don't know about you guys, but I did. And so guys, appointment setting is the most important skill for you to master. So here's the good thing about a skill, guys. A skill is something that you develop. Everybody type develop in the Zoom chat really quick, because if you're not good at a skill right now, you can develop the ability to be good at the skill, to get better at the skill. Yes or no? Like, how many of you guys like think that anybody on this Zoom call think that Michael Jordan just woke up the best basketball player in the world, or did he have to practice relentlessly and show up in the morning and stay up late and do the things that are required for him to be great? He had to show up and do the things that were required, right? And guys, our business is no different. Now, I'm not saying you got to try to be the Michael Jordan of PREREQUISITES, but if you want to be good at something, in fact, if you want to be even moderately okay or above average, you have to practice. Right? Because you have to get better at the things that you need to do. It is a skill. Appointment setting is the most important skill for you to practice, so that way you can master something that's going to make you hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars over the course of your time here. We've been in PREREQUISITES for 2 years and 2 months, let's say, a little bit less than that. And we've made $285,000 because we mastered this skill. Guys, like, you have the ability to do the exact same thing. In my opinion, actually, you could do it faster, because the world, you can do everything on Zoom. You have an incredible system to plug into, a leadership team that's just rocking and rolling right now. You can do it quicker, and it doesn't need to take you a long time. All right, so the good news, again, is that it is a skill, and you can develop that skill. Okay, and you need to master it. You should be able to set 8 out of 10 appointments when you are on the phone. Okay, so I want you guys to write that number down. 8 out of 10, 80%. If you're good at fractions, it's the 8 over the 10, right? You should write that number down. You need to be able to, when you make a phone call to set up an appointment, the goal is that we get to 8 out of 10. Okay, because if we can set 8 out of 10 appointments, you're going to be able to make as much income here as you would like. Okay, and so I don't know why my little appointment thing is like doing the slides backwards. It's like showing you the end slide and then sliding everything off, but we'll make it happen. Like I said, I'm not like super technologically savvy. I know how to run Zoom and share my screen. That's about it. So here's a rule for you. Okay, guys, I want you to write this down. This is a rule for you as you're setting up appointments. Okay, if you talk to 2 people in a row, so this doesn't mean like, Lydia, if you call 2 people and they don't answer, that doesn't count. But if you pick up the phone and Katie, you say, hey, how are you? And they say, I'm good. And then you try to set the appointment and you don't successfully set the appointment 2 times in a row, stop and call your trainer. Okay. And my analogy to this is, if your physical body was on fire, what are you taught in elementary school to do if your clothes catch on fire? I'll type in the Zoom chat real quick. I just want to see if y'all paid attention in kindergarten. Because that was about the last year I paid attention in school, if I'm being honest. If you're on fire, what do? You're supposed to stop, drop, and roll, right? Okay, guys, look. So in our business, in our business in Primerica, if you try to set up appointments and you make a phone call and you don't set the appointment and you do that twice in a row, I want you to imagine that your business is on fire and you need to stop, drop, and roll back to your trainer. Okay. Whoever your trainer is, you stop, say, I don't know what I'm doing something wrong. Stop what you're doing, call your trainer and ask for help. Fair? Is that fair enough, guys? Look, we want you to set up appointments the right way. We want you to get into the right market, but to do that, you need to make sure you're doing this the right way. Okay. Now, if you don't do this, okay, so let's say that you're really stubborn, right? Now, I don't know if any of you guys are stubborn like I am, but if you're really stubborn and you're like, Dan, I know everything, leave me alone, don't tell me what to do. Great. Well, then you figure it out, but you're going to burn through your natural market really quick, and nobody's going to sit with you because you're not going to be saying the right stuff. If you're not setting 80% of the calls that you make on appointments, guys, something is off in there. Okay, we need to fix that thing. And so as we go through this, we need to understand that when you get on appointments, the main goal of appointments, if you're unlicensed, is two things. Number one is to get you trained so you can run the appointments yourself. Okay, I want you to be able to do the appointments by yourself. We need to get you trained. Okay, now the second thing is that we want to get you referrals. If you go on one appointment, Katie, if you take me to go see one person, we should then run into 2 or 3 other people because of that person that we gave a great presentation to, and we're going to grow your market of people, right? Don't be stuck in this lack mindset of like, oh, Dan, well, I don't, that's like my people. I don't want to wait until I'm licensed to help those people. That's great. But let me just be really transparent with you and tell you that there's a theory called the expert theory. Have any of you guys ever heard of this before? The expert, I'm going to unshare my screen. This is not on the slides, but has anybody ever heard of the expert theory before? So the expert theory is if you start something new, or if you're trying to talk to people that you know well, friends, family, things like that, they're not going to see you as a professional in that thing, even if you are. Okay. But if you take somebody that's been 1 day longer or even the same amount of time as you in whatever thing that you're doing, it's the third party person that comes in, and that person is the expert in what you're doing. And so it's not to say that you don't know what you're doing, but it's just to say that your family, your friends and family see you as the nurse, they see you as the carpenter, they see you as the teacher, the trainer, the stay-at-home mom. They don't see you as a financial professional yet. Okay. And let's just be honest with you. If they never do, that's fine. But the system is built to get you out of there as fast as possible through referrals. And our job is to, on the appointments, get you the best or give the best presentation so that your people feel comfortable sending you referrals. Guys, I make probably $1,000 to maybe $2,000 per week off of referrals at this point that people send me. I think it was Azalea that I was talking to the other day, or it might have been Kai. I'm not 100% sure. I was talking to one of them about like where clients come from. And literally, Luke, as they asked me, where do your clients come from, I sent a screenshot and sent it to them. And it was a text message from somebody saying, hey, so-and-so said that you do life insurance. Can you help me? Like, that's where your clients are going to come from, but it starts with you setting up appointments. Does that make sense, guys? Like, you've got to get out there first so people know what you're doing. If you never tell anybody what you do, they're never going to know what you do. Okay, so let me skip through a couple of these really quick. All right, so on an appointment, guys, you are going to present to a couple or to an individual. It's super important that you know what an appointment is, okay? So it's always, when you're setting up the appointment, it's over a phone call, not a text message. Okay. Now I'll be honest with you guys. It's 2023, right? Everybody's used to being at home on Facebook, Zoom, whatever. So if you happen to set up an appointment via a text message or whatever, that's fine. And also, Lydia, like if somebody messages you about the business, or it's a 3-way chat, or they comment on something on social media because you're following the system, that's a little different. We're going to use the text messages. Like, I'm not saying that that doesn't work, but initially and anytime thereafter, like I have a list of people that I call every 3 months. I just kind of rotate through my 1,000 person. I call them. I don't text those people. I call them. I leave a voice message. I just check in with them. It's very easy for somebody to leave you unread. It's a lot more difficult for somebody to hang up on you. I've never been hung up on trying to set an appointment. I've had a lot of times on Facebook Messenger where people don't respond. Okay, that's why we want to do a phone call, because they're not going to just hang up on you, right? And on the phone, if you're good and you practice the appointment setting like you should, you can work your skill set, you can overcome the objections and still get stuff to set up. Okay. And if they start a conversation over social media, email, Facebook, text, whatever, I will try to convert it to a phone call sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. And I do a lot of voice messages too. So like if somebody messages me about the business, Katie, I'll just send them a message back. And I'll just say, hey, thanks. Thank you for reaching out. Appreciate it. And then I'll text from there. I just want them to see that I'm a real person with a real voice and not some Facebook bot. Does it make sense? Because a lot of times people are just like, I don't know who the heck this person is. Right. So we have to make sure we have that. And you got to also be compliant, right? Like you don't want to get caught saying something wrong in a text message. Not that you're going to say something wrong over the phone either, but you just don't want to get hit with some compliance stuff. Trust me, compliance is amazing. And don't make mistakes out of not caring and doing the wrong things. Like the mistakes that you're going to make are most likely going to happen out of ignorance, but that might be the wrong word of like, hey, we just don't know what we're doing yet. We said the wrong because we're brand new, right? A lot of you guys are brand new. You're less than 2 weeks in the business. You got a lot of momentum. You're already getting promoted. Big things are happening for you. You're excited. You might say something wrong. That's fine. That's why we go off the expert theory and you bring a trainer with you and that trainer helps you. So that way they can kind of course correct and you're in training. Right. If you call somebody and Katie, you're like, hey, I'm in training, and then you're the only one that shows up. That doesn't look like training. That looks like you're doing it. Right. So we got to make sure we're setting them up the right way. And you can control the conversation over the phone. Right. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to somebody and all of a sudden we get like 97 years into a conversation that doesn't make any sense. And I don't know how we got there. And then you just got to pull them back to the conversation. It's like, hey, Katie, cool. I'm super grateful that your cat's recovered from their herpes, right? That's my thing, guys. Your cat has herpes. I say that all the time. But I'm glad that your cat recovered from its sickness and its illness. But listen, like as far as us getting together, what's best? Weekends or weekdays, right? You got to be able to pull it back, rein it in. Everybody type rein it in the Zoom chat, right? We got to rein in the conversation. It should not take you more than 2 or 3 minutes to get through everything. All right. So the prerequisites. Number one, you got one shot at an appointment setting phone call. Okay, now I'm going to preface that by saying you really probably could make another call like 6 months down the road after you're licensed and you're doing better and you're on your own. But in the beginning, you got one shot. You say something dumb, they're probably never going to sit with you. I'm just going to be honest with you. And I did that. So don't feel bad if you've done that already. That's fine. But that's why when I bring somebody on, Hugo, I tell them, don't talk to anybody until we talk, right? Like I tell everybody, don't talk because I'm going to teach you how to set the appointments the right way. And we get so excited that we just like Katie, we get so excited. Like, I'm going to make $1 million and it's going to be amazing. And I can help everybody in life insurance and this and that. And you're like saying all the wrong stuff sometimes out of excitement, again, out of ignorance, not out of malice, right? And it's the same thing here. So you got one shot. You can wish it was different, or you can understand that that's just how it works. The second thing is your job is to set the appointment. No matter what they say on the phone, to set the appointment. It's not to give a presentation. It's not to close business or recruit somebody or get a life insurance policy or an investment. It's to set the appointment because then you can give an actual presentation. And you got to have a made up mind on what's happening, right? I'm going to call and I'm going to set the appointment. It's funny how when I call people and I'm Lydia, I'm thinking to myself like, all right, they're probably not going to set up an appointment. Guess what I never do on those appointments? Almost never actually set the appointment. But when I'm excited about it and I'm like, I'm definitely going to set up the appointment right here, it gets set every time. Like freaking clockwork, guys. So if you're convinced that you're going to set the appointment, you're going to have a much higher success rate. If you're laying in your bed and you got the thing on speakerphone sitting on your chest and you're all depressed about life, you're probably not going to set up very many appointments. But if you're walking around the house, you're excited, you're fired up about what's going on in your business, you're like growing, you're like learning new things and you're excited, you're going to have a much higher success rate. And if people knew what we could do for them, guys, they would be calling you. Let's just be honest. Right? Like if you've had a financial needs analysis and you've like seen big results from like saving money on life insurance or retiring a few years earlier, if you've ever done that, guys, and you're on the call right now, like you know how important it is what we do for people, right? And we have to understand that they don't know what you're going to do for them, so they're going to have a little bit of hesitation, I guess might be the right word there. So there's two types of appointments. There's a kitchen table appointment, so you should write that down, kitchen table or KT. And then there's a recruit appointment. Okay, now every appointment is going to be both, but you have a different script to set them up with. Okay, so the common mistakes that we see is we're setting up the wrong type of appointment. Okay, so a kitchen table appointment, everybody should write down the kitchen table appointment should be a 4 or a 5 pointer. Okay, I'm going to go over that in a minute. So don't freak out like, Dan, what's that? I missed it. Don't worry about it. That's 4 or 5 points. Okay, a recruit appointment is going to be less than that. If you're not following the script, the red flag shows that your success rates go down. Okay, so if I'm making my calls and I'm not setting up any appointments, my success rates dropping, that is a red flag that I'm off on my script somewhere. I don't know where. That's why you call your trainer. Okay, and you then when you do that, Jesse, your trainer is going to say, set an appointment right now. I want you to call me and set an appointment. And then you call them and set the appointment with them, because they're going to be able to course correct you, right? If we're not here to beat you guys up, I hope you understand that. Like, we're not here to like make you feel bad about not doing it the right way. We're here to help you make sure that you are doing it the right way and you're getting appointments set. If you don't set one-legged appointments. What do I mean by a one-legged appointment? You're going to have a husband and a wife, okay? Or a fiancés, whatever it is, right? Husband, wife, or a couple of fiancés, and they're hanging out, they're making financial decisions together, but you only got one of them on the call. Okay, that's a one-legged appointment. And I always tell people, you're just going to hop around in circles on a one-legged appointment. Like, you're not going to get anything done because you don't have two people there that are making the decisions together. Everybody type one leg in the Zoom chat. Avoid one-leg appointments like it's the Black Plague. It is disastrous, because what's going to happen, it's funny because Brian, this is how it always goes, right? I run a killer presentation with Brian. Right, it goes amazing, and Brian's fired up. He's like, I want to talk to my wife, and that's awesome. And you should talk to your wife. We want your wife to be on board. But then Brian goes and talks to his wife about what he thinks I was saying, which is nothing of like what I was actually saying, because he's not licensed. He just learned about it the first time, right? And he's not able to really explain it to her in a way that I did. And also on top of that, she's might not, let's be honest, may or may not listen to him all that well about financial things if their current financial situation isn't great. Right? I'm not, Brian, not you specifically. I'm not trying to call you out. Don't boycott me, okay? But it's just it's a matter of fact that, like, if you have the right stuff going on your appointments and you're meeting with the right people, you're going to do well when you go to set up your appointments, okay? And then lastly, guys, setting appointments during training. So here's our training times for those of you that do not know. Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Okay, yes, we are meeting this Tuesday. Yes, I know it's 4th of July. It will be short. Okay, it will be from 7 to about 7:45. So you still see fireworks. We're doing it live in the Tampa office. If you are local, come hang out with us in the office for 45 minutes. Learn how to get to RVP in 90 days. And then we're going to go across the street and we're going to go hang out at the pool. Okay, so we're going to do some stuff together, get to hang out, whatever, but just come to that. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be on Zoom as well. Okay, I'll make sure you guys have the Zoom link, but Tuesdays at 7, Saturdays at 9:30. That's the one you're on right now. Great job. You figured this one out. And then also we have Sundays at 8 p.m. Those are our 3 training times, guys. Do not run appointments during those training times. Because imagine, Josh, if everyone on your team was running appointments during training, how many people would be getting trained? No one, right? So you have to set the example for your team and get on the trainings and be on the trainings and be somebody that's dependable while you have no team or 1 or 2 people. And as your business continues to grow, right? As your business continues to grow, now you're going to start having an army of people showing up on trainings that's in your business, right? We have to make sure that we have it set up the right way. So I messed up my Zoom boxes again, and I can't see my mouse, and it's really driving me nuts, but we're going to get there together. So, so these are the appointments, guys. Kitchen tables. They're 3 if they have kids, or 4 or 5. Okay. And we use the acronym MACHO. MACHO stands for married. So if they're married or if they are engaged in a long-term relationship. Okay. So that's kind of the other like caveat there. If they're like been together for 30 years, but they haven't put a ring on it yet, that's called commitment issues. But they live together, they got kids together, like they're married for all intents and purposes of setting an appointment. Okay, so married, age 25 to 55. And honestly, we can go as high as 70, but really like over 60, our life insurance product gets a little bit more expensive because it's term and it's got such a high payout. It does get a little bit more expensive, but we could still sit with them and see if we could save them some money. C is children or kids. Do they have children living at home? All right, that are between the ages, or sorry, under the age of 18. And do they own a house? H, homeowner. Do they own a house, or have they lived in the same place for 2 to 3 years? Okay. What we're not looking for is somebody that switches resident addresses every 4 months because they keep having stuff going on, right? That's not the ideal client here, because we don't want you to have a policy that lapses or investments that aren't being made because somebody can't get their bills paid on time. So we want to make sure that we have a homeowner, and then somebody that has a job. Occupation is what the O stands for. Okay, so occupation. Why do they need a job? Because if they're going to get life insurance, they have to pay for it. That's why they need a job. Okay, I think it goes without saying. So that's the letters. So if they're 3 with kids, 4 or 5 pointers, they're going to be kitchen tables. If for a recruit appointment, if it's 1 or 2 or 0, there's sometimes people that have 0 of those things. Those are going to be set up as recruit appointments. Are we good with that? Any questions on Macho? If you have a question on Macho, type it in the Zoom chat. I can see it really quick. I'm going to move on to the next slide, but if somebody types a question, I will go back and answer it there. So for the kitchen table appointment, they're 3 with kids, 4 or 5. There's going to be at home or a Zoom call, at their home or a Zoom call. Kellyanne, C is children under 18. So, and it's in the Zoom chat. So the acronym for Macho is in the Zoom chat. Karen put it in there. So for a kitchen table appointment, they're 3 with kids, 4 or 5 pointers of the Macho. We're going to do it at their house or on a Zoom call. Okay. Preferably on a Zoom call. But if for whatever reason they're like, we have to do it in person, God bless, we'll do it in person. That's fine. Okay, we can. Now, if you're in like Kentucky and I'm in Florida, I'm not driving to Kentucky to do the appointment. We'll figure out Zoom. Okay. But if it's local in Florida or local to your trainer, great. You can definitely do them in person. Not a problem at all. The spouse is there. Everybody type spouse is there in the Zoom chat real quick, just to make sure we got that down. We need both spouses to be there. I'll show you how to set that up in just a second, but we want to make sure that the spouse is present. Okay. And then from there, we have verbal confirmation, right? That doesn't mean that I just say, hey, Katie, I'll see you on Thursday at 6 for your appointment. And then there's no response. She never answers and doesn't confirm anything, right? We have to get verbal confirmation that they're on board as well. And then we're going to lead with the products. Okay. Now, why are we leading with products on a kitchen table appointment? Because people that are married with kids generally understand that they need insurance. They need some type of investments. They have to have a good financial plan. Does that make sense? Like, that's literally why. Like, and you can like argue, well, Dan, this person would be great on the business. Also, that's amazing. I'm sure they would be. We can recruit them, but we're going to show them why what we do is so good first, right? We're going to teach them about the business. And if they want to be a part of it, awesome. That's great. We want them to be a part of it, but we're talking about the products first, okay? And we're going to follow up, what we call it recruit on the back end, right? We're going to close business, life insurance, investments, whatever. And then, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not interested at all, 10 being very interested, how interested would you be in making an extra $1,000 to $1,500 a month doing what I just did for you today on 5 to 10 hours a week? I'd be very interested. Awesome. Great. Jenna's taking her SIE. Can you give me just 1 second, guys? I'm sorry. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. All right, sorry, I'm gonna keep rolling, but I might have to switch laptops. So if I have to do that, I'm sorry. So with a recruit appointment though, guys, we're setting up 1 or 2 points of the Macho scale. So of those letters, MACHO, we're setting up 1 or 2, okay? And then not married, no kids. So they're either in the age range, they own a house, they have a job. If they have those 1 or 2 of those 3 things, we're setting this up as a kitchen table, okay? Or sorry, as a recruit appointment, excuse me. And this is either going to be a Zoom call or at the office or like a Starbucks or maybe go out to eat or something like that. Hey, close the door? It's either going to be a Zoom call or we're going to do something at the office or like, hey, we're going to meet you halfway type of thing. Yeah, can I have your laptop so I can jump into this really quick? Okay. We have a verbal confirmation, right? We're going to set the appointment, make sure that we're secured there, and we're going to lead with the opportunity. And we're going to talk about how they can make money, how they can help people and do things like that. And we're also going to help them follow up with the products. Okay, so we're going to follow up with the products on the back end of what it is that we're doing. So appointment setting mastery part number 2. So let me do this really quick. So Jenna is trying to get her SIE right now. So I'm gonna have to switch laptops with her really quick. Let's see. Cassie, I'm gonna make you the host. Okay, I know you're on your phone, but I'm gonna make you the host real quick. Can you just take questions and help these guys with any appointment setting things that they might need help with for about 2 seconds while I help Jenna get into her SIE?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, thank you. Sorry about that, guys.
You're good. All right. So yeah, who has a question? Also, hopefully my service is okay. Eliana and I are in the mountains right now, so it might go in and out. But okay. Oh, can you guys unmute yourselves? Or okay, let's see. All right, Shanae, what you got? I hope you guys can unmute yourselves. Should be able to. No. Josh, can you unmute yourself? No. Oh. Okay, hold on. Oh, I can go to participants. Okay, one second. Okay, so raise your hand if you have one, and I will ask you to unmute. Maybe that'll work. Okay, there we go.
Cassandra, I was just curious, what do you do if their cat has herpes?
Well, as a team, we've got some medication that we keep stocked up.
Some financial medication. Let's go.
I love it.
PRI to the moon.
Hey, I don't know if anybody new here has heard the cat having herpes thing yet, but Arius, let me unmute you. Maybe.
I just basically want to
see if that works.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
I'm unmuted. Okay. I just basically want to know like what's a good status to make for Facebook so I can start getting start making appointments and stuff.
Yeah, so have you you already posted the recruiting picture, right? Oh, you're muted again. Dang it. Hold on. All right, stay unmuted so I can chat with you for a sec. Okay, no, it's not letting me do that. Guys, I'm so sorry. This is a mess. Okay, I'll put some stuff in the redemption Telegram chat for what you can post on Facebook. Shanae.
People can unmute now. I'm almost ready. I'm sorry. People can unmute now though.
Okay, here we go.
Great, thanks, Dan. So I have a question. A lady reached out to me on Facebook based off of my post, and we were talking about the life insurance. She says she has kids and she has a newborn who's 3 months. So I said, okay, would you be interested in sitting down, with me and Elle, scheduling an appointment? She's like, oh, I don't need life insurance. And I'm just like, you have a 3-month-old baby. What do you need? So in that instance, what do I do because you have a 3-month-old baby?
So wait, how did the conversation go? She reached out to you about for what post? About life insurance?
The life insurance. So the one that Dan had put in there about you can spend so much money on shoes, and then the policies cost this much. So she reached out to me. So I was assuming that she was just reaching out to me for herself. But when we got into the conversation and I asked her, she was married, does she have kids? And she's like, she has kids. She has a 3-month-old baby. but she doesn't need life insurance?
I would just ask some questions, like maybe, and hopefully you can still hear me okay, but I would ask some questions like, maybe be like, oh, okay, do you have it through work? Like, something like that. And she's like, no. Like, oh, so, and maybe Dan, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you can, ask her what kind of a plan does she have in place if God forbid something were to happen to her for her children. I don't know, Dan, if you have any, or Josh, anybody, if you have any better answers to that, what would you say?
I would just ask her to.
Yeah, just more questions to kind of get that.
My biggest solution to that would be like, hey, I understand. Or I would just say like, hey, can I ask you a question? And then you let them answer. And then, you'd be like, yeah, they'll be like, yeah. Then you'll be like, hey, so if you were to pass away, what would be the first thing that your husband would have to sell in order to pay for your funeral? You know what I'm saying? Who would have to pull out of their retirement to cover the expense of your medical bills and your stuff? Or you can take it like this. So hey, are you able to, or you could ask like, hey, if you were to quit your job, would you be able to retire tomorrow? And then they'd obviously be like, no. And then you could be like, okay, cool. So tomorrow you would need the money, right? Yes. Okay, cool. Then you need life insurance. 110%.
I'm coming. I'm almost back on Zoom, guys. Bear with me. I'm so sorry. Thank you all for being patient. You all are the best. But no,
You're fine. Katie Jean, what question do you have? That was really good. Josh, sorry.
I was just gonna say that basically similar. Like I would just ask them like, well, okay, so do you like if you don't need life insurance, are you able to stop working tomorrow? Like, are you able to retire tomorrow? And if they say no, then okay, if you have somebody reliant on your income, you do need life insurance, and I'd love to show you why. And then I mean, if they're not open to it at that point, it's fine. But the big thing I always ask people is, would you be open to looking at it? Like, would you be open to taking a look at it? And if they're not open to it, then you're never going to be able to convince somebody otherwise. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm coming in on this this Zoom call real quick. So give me 2 seconds. My presentation's on the other computer though, guys. So this might be crazy. We'll see what happens. All right, Cassie, can you make Jenna's laptop the host? I'm back. All right, can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome, great. Hey, sorry about that, guys. Thanks for rolling with the punches. I appreciate it. So for those of you that are brand new, there's 4 tests that you got to take. One of which is called the SIE, Securities Industry Essentials, and Jenna, whose computer I'm using now, we had to switch laptops, but Jenna is about to take it. And this is a prime example of why I would suggest always taking it in person instead of taking it online, but we're figured it out. So anyway, so I don't have my presentation anymore, but I'm going to walk you guys through like how to set up the appointments. I kind of got through all of the basics as to what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, stuff like that. Katie, your hand is raised. Let me answer your question, and then I'll go on to like actually going through everything. That whole debacle was YouTube broadcasted for the whole world to see too. That's amazing. But Katie, go ahead. What questions or what question do you have? I cannot hear you at all. Can you guys hear her? Go ahead and unmute and unmute and see if that works. I cannot. Type your question in the chat and I'll answer it. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna walk you through like what to say, and I'm gonna go slow. So there's like a 4-part breakdown as you're setting up appointments that you need to have with people. So the first thing is like it's the intro. It's a warm intro, and you're basically just saying like, hey, how's it going? Hope you're doing awesome. How's the family? Things like that. Okay. So, hey, Josh, how are you? Hope you're doing well. How's the family doing? Family's doing well. That type of thing. Does that make sense? So it's maybe 30 seconds of me talking to them, saying, hey, Josh, how are you? Hope your family's good. How's work? Work's good. Awesome. Great. Okay. Then the second part is the linker, right? Or the transition. And you're going to say, so the reason I was calling, so, hey, listen, the reason I'm calling is, that's it. That's the phrase. Don't add more words to it. So, hey, listen, the reason I'm calling is, so, hey, Josh, how's your family? My family's doing great. Awesome. Glad to hear that. How are you? I'm good. How's work? Work's good. So, hey, listen, the reason I'm calling is break. Okay. So after that, there's two ways you can go with this. Right now, we're just going to talk about the kitchen table. Okay. I'm only talking about the kitchen table appointment right now. Okay. So I'm only talking about the kitchen table appointment right now. So when I call Josh, hey, Josh, how are you? I'm good. Awesome. How's the family? Family's good. That's great. Hey, listen, Josh, the reason I'm calling is I'm not sure if you were aware or not, but I started getting some financial services licensing and I'm going through some training right now and I need some help to round out training. When is a good time for you and Stephanie to hop on a Zoom call and help me out with some training? What is better for you, weekends or weekdays? Okay, so that's the general premise of what you can say. I will get you guys a picture of what the actual words are a little bit later today. I'll put it in the Telegram. Okay, as soon as Jenna's off my computer, I'll jump on and I'll do it. Okay, but right now, that's where we're at. Okay, so with that being said, so hey, listen, I'm not sure if I told you. I'm not sure if I told you or not. I'm working on getting some financial services licensing. I'm in my training right now. I was hoping you and Stephanie would be willing to jump on a Zoom call and help me out with some training. As far as us getting together on Zoom for training, what is better for you, weekends or weekdays? Okay, you're asking a yes or yes question. I'm not giving her the opportunity or him the opportunity to say no. I'm saying, what's better for you, weekends or weekdays? He's not just going to say no. Like, Josh, what's better, weekends or weekdays? No. Like, no one's ever said that to me ever. I might get hit with some objections, like, what is it? Things like that. But I'm going to make sure that I'm addressing him and I'm getting that appointment set. So after then he gives me a time, like he says weekends are best. Okay, great. What's better, Saturdays or Sundays? And I'm going to narrow it down. He says Sundays. Okay, mornings or nights? 5 or 6? 6. Great. Scheduled the appointment. That's it. It's done. Don't unschedule it and say, are you sure? Check with your wife first, blah, blah, blah. No. Okay, great. What's your phone number? What's your email? And I'm going to put them in the calendar. Okay, and then after I set the appointment, so we have the opener or the intro, you've got the linker, and then you've got the actual body of the appointment setting, which is what I just said. And then you've got the close. This is the most important part. So awesome, Josh, I'm excited to get together with you on Sunday at 6. I'm grateful for you and Stephanie taking time out of your day, however you want to say that right there is fine, but this is what's important. Josh, I'm going to have my trainer there. So make sure you guys keep that appointment at 6 o'clock on Sunday. Okay. I'll see you then. And that's it. Okay. So let me run it through all the way. So, hey, Josh, how are you? I'm doing good. Awesome. Great, man. Hey, listen, the reason I'm calling, I'm not sure if I told you this or not, but I recently started getting some financial services licensing and I got to wrap up some training. And I was hoping you and Stephanie would be willing to help me out. So if you or anybody you know in the future could use it, you'd feel comfortable referring people to me. So Josh, as far as us getting together, what's better for you guys, weekends or weekdays?
Weekdays.
Weekdays. Great. What day's better, Tuesdays or Thursdays? He's going to give me a day and I'm going to get to the time. So he says Thursday at 5. Okay, great. So Josh, Thursday at 5. So Josh, what's your email? What's your phone number? I'm going to put all that in my trainer's calendar. So I'm looking at the calendar when I'm calling. Okay. So I'm going to have the calendar pulled up in the background. So when I'm on the phone, Katie, and I'm talking to them and they say Thursday at 4, I don't go to the calendar and be like, oh crap, actually that's not available. Like I'm giving them options of what's available on the calendar. Okay. And then after I set the appointment, then I'm saying, awesome, Josh, I'm super excited to meet with you and Stephanie Thursday at 4 o'clock. I'm gonna have my trainer with me. So make sure you guys make it there at 6 or at 4 o'clock and don't make me look bad. Okay. I'll see you then. And that's it. Okay, now the recruit appointment is the same thing. The body is different. Everybody type body is different in the Zoom chat for me real quick. The body is different. Okay, so because the body is the only part that's different, I'm not going to give you the intro right now. I'm just going to tell you the middle. So the middle part is, so hey, listen, the reason I'm calling is, then you go into this. I recently started doing something on the side. I think it would be a great fit for you. I'd love to take 15 minutes and show you what it is with my trainer on Zoom. What's a good time for you? Weekends or weekdays for 15 minutes. And I'm setting the appointment. Okay. And then you're gonna have to overcome some objections and stuff like that. And without the slides of the scripts and you being able to take screenshots and stuff, I hope that was helpful for you to hear that a couple of times. I'm going to kind of roll through that a couple more times with you guys, but I want you guys, if you have an objection that you've heard or a question about appointment setting, I want to open it up for the next like maybe 10 to 15 minutes and just kind of let you guys ask your questions, concerns, whatever it is that you might have around appointment setting, and let me help you walk you through that stuff. And then we'll go from there. So if you have a question, a thought, a concern, anything like that about appointment setting or an objection that you've been running into, hit the raise hand button on your phone or on your computer, and I'll just call on you guys and you should be able to unmute. So whoever wants to go first, go ahead. Not all at once. Can you quickly please do the recruit? Yes. So hey, listen, the reason I'm calling is I started doing something on the side recently. I think it would be a great fit for you. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be something I'm doing full time soon. I just wanted to take 15 minutes and show it to you to see if you'd see value in it or you'd feel comfortable referring people in the future. That is not exactly it, Katie. That's close. And I'll get the screenshot for you later today and I'll put it in there. But more importantly than anything else, guys, people are going to buy into your energy and your excitement. And if you're calling them and you're being like, I am really excited about this thing I'm doing, I would love for you to check it out. Like, then you're not convincing not one person about it there, right? You gotta come in with the energy and the excitement of, hey, I'm doing something big. I'm excited about it. It's going to be amazing. Like Hugo, I told you that yesterday, didn't I? Like you sent me a message with his friend, his barber. And I was like, dude, more than you saying anything right or wrong, they're attracted to your excitement and your energy around what you're doing. And if you're excited about it, you're going to attract people to you. So, all right, guys, what other questions do you guys have or objections? What objections are you running into that you might need help with? So I'll take the next 10 minutes and I want you to try to stump me with an appointment setting objection. Tammy, what's up? Katie, I'll get you in a second. Tammy, what's up?
Okay, so I don't need insurance. If I die, then my kids need to figure it out.
Well, God bless you. I don't want you as a client anyway. Have a great day. I'm serious. Like, it's not worth your time sometimes. I mean, I'll ask them. Don't get me wrong, Tammy. Like, I will say, like, you don't care at all what happens to your family if something happens to you and you die. Most of the time, they're just trying to see if, like, I've had people say that to me, and then I'll say, are you really actually don't care if anything happens to your family?
That was actually a family member.
Yeah. And I would say, so you really are just going to pin this on everybody that you love to take care of you because you didn't want to take 15 minutes and make sure you had everything in place. And if they say yes, hey, great. Awesome. Thanks. Appreciate it. And I'm not going to try to like make somebody want it. You know what I mean? But that's going to be a small percentage of people. You're not going to have that happen very often. Okay. Katie said, what is the best way to get names from others if they say, can't think of anyone at this? Are you talking about on a kitchen table, like on an actual appointment? Okay. That will be a completely different training, but call me later and I'll help you with that. Cause that's a whole nother, like, it's got to be set up the right way and do the right stuff. Like that's a whole art and science, if you will, itself. So we'll do another training on that a different day, but call me and I can help you with that. Can you go shut the door, please? What's up, Josh?
For the recruit appointment, like some people ask me like, hey, is this gonna cost any money for me to like get started?
Yeah. Hey, Josh, that's a great question. Do you already have any insurance or investment licenses?
No, I don't.
Okay, awesome. And Josh, what do you think are some of the most lucrative jobs that somebody could have?
Probably insurance and investments.
Okay, what else outside of that? Like what degrees do people go to college for that are like the most sought after degrees typically?
Like business, data analytics, stuff like that.
Like what, lawyers, doctors, stuff like that, right? I think we could all agree that lawyers, doctors probably make the most money. Now,
Right.
Josh, let me ask you a question. When you're looking for a doctor, are you looking for a doctor that has been trained and educated and has training, or are you just kind of trying to go to somebody that just has no idea what's going on?
Somebody that's trained, obviously.
Okay, awesome. And Josh, is school free typically for them to go to, or do they typically have to pay for it and go into like 120,000, maybe $200,000 worth of debt and have to pay that off for the rest of their life typically?
Usually 120,000 or more. I certainly don't have 120,000 though, Dan.
Right. And I'm not at all insinuating that you do, but Josh, what we're going to do is we're going to actually cover all of the licenses for you. And when we jump on this Zoom call, I'll kind of show you how that works. But Josh, you don't have any felonies or anything like that, right? So that wouldn't be an issue for you, right?
No, I never got caught.
Awesome. So what, as far as us getting together, what's better, weekends or weekdays?
Weekdays.
Awesome. Set the appointment. And guys, like people are going to test your wherewithal in the appointment setting. How good are you? Not everybody. Some people you'll be able to set everything. But some people are going to really try to test your ability to overcome objections, and it's going to frustrate the hell out of you sometimes. Don't get me wrong. Tammy, what's up?
So the one young lady who was already licensed, so I sent her out a text and asked if she would like to go over her policy. And her response to that was, well, I know enough about life insurance, and so I'm not gonna change my policy right now. I mean, how do you?
Who is that?
That was the one where I was telling you, you wanted to call her, but she won't give me her number.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't, don't try to skip, don't, how am I trying to say this? When is the best time to clean a fish? If you're going to eat it, when's the best time for you to clean a fish? What do you have to do first? You got to catch it.
Catch it. Mhm.
Yeah. So don't try to clean the fish before you catch it. Like, get her in, let her see the system. I'm never going to try to make somebody change their life insurance over. And I'm not even probably going to ask for it right away, especially if they're a licensed agent, because they probably wrote it themselves or they have some type of like emotional attachment to it. So, hey, get in the system. Let me walk you through it. I'll show you everything. Hey, did you know how your life insurance policy actually works? Send me over a copy, like after you build a little bit of that trust with them.
She's not working in life insurance right now.
Yeah, and I would focus on recruiting her first. I personally, like, I would focus on recruiting her first, get her in the system. She'll see everything, she'll get training, and then if she has 3/4 of a brain or more, she'll want to move everything over.
She said that someone from PREREQUISITES had already tried to recruit her before.
Yeah. Was this the one I'm meeting with tomorrow?
No.
It's a different one. You got more licensed people out there that you haven't told me about yet? Come on, Tammy. Tammy's trying to go to Hawaii, y'all. Everybody's out here sleeping on Tammy. All right. Not physically. That'd be weird, right, Tammy? Don't let people sleep on you, actually. That'd be awkward. But all right. Luke said, well, wait, somebody said the MLM thing. I'll overcome the MLM thing at the end. Luke, can you say that in a way that you've heard it or something like that? I just want to make sure I'm understanding correctly.
Well, yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying that in the case of like, that's like a response to somebody. Like if somebody were to say like, oh, I'm fine with my policy, I think I'm fine. It's like, well, wouldn't you want to see something that could possibly be better? I mean, if it's not better, you can leave me alone. It's like from Ian Pruckner's appointment setting audio.
Best case, worst case, right? Best case scenario, you save some money, retire earlier, we get you more coverage, all that. Worst case scenario, you have exactly what you need and everything's perfect and you know that now you're set.
Amen. It's just about seeing the opportunity to see if there's something better for you, which there is in Primerica. So that's all I got to say.
And what Josh just said too, what if it was a difference between you having hundreds of thousands of dollars in retirement and having nothing?
Amen.
That's a good one too. What's up, Shanae?
Okay, so I had one who said, well, I have life insurance, so I asked, do you know if it's whole life or term life? Well, it's whole life and it's cheaper, so I'm not going to change my policy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My children are not listening very well. Can you say that one more time, Shanae? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I was told that, you know, I have life insurance. I said, okay, well, do you know if it's whole life or term? Oh, well, it's whole life and it's cheaper, so I'm not going to change my policy.
Yeah, awesome. I'd love to take a look at it. Usually it's not what you think it is, generally, from what I've seen over the last 2 years. Right. And then if it's something, you're still pretty new, Shanae, so you can fall back on the, hey, I'm in training. Could I just look at your policy? Like, can I look over your policy with my trainer? That's if you're brand new, that's like my favorite thing in the world you could do, is you could reach out to some people and get some life insurance policies and just say, hey, can I just look at these for some training, please? Like, can I just see your training, your policy for some training? Yeah. And Cassie just said too, the doctor and the cut off finger analogy, right? So, this is more for setting an FNA than anything else, because if you're guys, let me just say this real quick. If you're getting into life insurance and this and that, and you need different life insurance and stuff like that while you're trying to set up an appointment, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. You are light years off the script. You are nowhere remotely close to where you should be on trying to set the appointment. Not one time when I was setting up an appointment with Josh earlier, like, and I was going through that with you guys, did I say anything about life insurance or investments or anything like that? I said, I'm getting some financial services licensing. I need some training. I didn't say anything about insurance. I didn't say anything about anything else. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean you won't run into that, but I'm going to stop overcoming those objections, because you should not be getting there. And that's like a contest specific type of trying to set something up. And I can help you with that. But this is for the brand new people setting up brand new appointments, going on training appointments. Okay. So you should not be talking about life insurance or investments. You're not licensed. You can't, it's not legal. You're getting some financial licensing and you need some training. That's it. Okay. So the doctor analogy, Cassie, I'll go over that. I'll do objections next week on setting up an FNA in the morning. Remind me about that one and I'll go over it then. Let's see. Amber, I had people send me what is offered through them to work, but they will not follow up with their actual policy. Similar, like, did you do Amber, did you do an FNA with them, or did you run an appointment with them, or was it just Amber Lord?
It was just through messaging. I've had trouble getting people on the phone with me, so it's through messaging. But they're like, yeah, I'll send you my policy, not a problem. And they just give me a basic overview of what's offered, not their actual policy.
Yeah, so it's a group life policy, probably, right? So when I would ask them, I'd be like, okay, well, cool, well, that's your group policy. Can I get the one with your name on it? Because they can't. They're not physically able to generate that. It doesn't exist. So that's a pretty easy one right there. Like, hey, like, if it doesn't have your name on it and you're not the beneficiary, or you're not the owner and it doesn't have your name on it, does that mean that it's yours or not? And I would venture to guess it's probably not. If it doesn't have your name on it and you're not the owner, probably not yours, right? So we're a little bit out in the weeds here, which is fine. I hope this was helpful for you all this morning. I'm sorry about the having to switch around laptops and then my kids not listening and all kinds of craziness going on right now. But I appreciate you guys being willing to hop on this and learn. I will stay here for another like 5 minutes and take any questions that you guys might have. Doesn't need to be about appointment setting or anything like that. Let me stop.